Question, would you get on a plane with just one pilot in the cockpit? Some airlines are now looking at it, but aviation experts and passengers don't want a bar of it.
For anyone younger than 40, this is how it used to be. Flying was an experience, not just a form of travel. Bigger economy seats, sumptuous meals, the Captain Cook Lounge. And up front, a plethora of expertise. A captain, first officer, flight engineer and second officer. Earlier flights even had a navigator. But the 4 or 5 people looking after your safety in the cockpit has dwindled over the ensuing years. Today, many international flights have just 2 pilots up front. And now the move is on for just 1.
Well, that's right. Some airlines appear to want it.
What would be the attraction from a passenger's perspective of having a single pilot as opposed to 2? And the answer's none.
Would you get on a plane with just 1 pilot in the cockpit?
Yeah, not too keen on that.
No, not at all. Always
It's
scared.
scary. Not happy about it. I am a pilot, and there's no way that I would be flying these big jets with only 1 pilot.
Qantas Flight 32 could have been the airline's first fatal flight, if not for the 5 pilots who masterfully took control after an engine exploded just after takeoff from Singapore in 2010. Captain Richard de Crespigny was in command. Richard, if there'd only been 1 pilot in the cockpit of QF32 that day, do you think 440 passengers would be alive today?
It's very possible not, because all 5 pilots were very busy. I had a co-pilot who we share roles. We have different roles, so we're sharing different tasks. I require him to do the checklists. I require him to monitor the aircraft. We've got the other pilot also monitors me to make sure I'm performing. We have other pilots have brought up new ideas that we hadn't thought of, and all that combination of all that skill set brings in something which you can't have when you're by yourself.
Yet airlines like Cathay Pacific and Lufthansa are keenly working on a future of single pilot operation. Cathay Pacific saying, while we are engaging with Airbus in the development of the concept of reduced crew operations, we have not committed to being the launch customer. Winning over the public will be a marketing masterstroke.
I'd rather have 2 pilots on a cockpit, plan A, plan B. It's always good to have plan B, isn't it?
I'd rather 2 co-pilot there just in case. What if he has a heart attack, or what if something goes wrong on the flight?
So if passengers aren't keen, what's in it for the airlines?
Ultimately, it would come down to cost. If there can be a significant cost saving through introducing single pilot operations, they'll look at that possibility.
Professor Ron Barch, one of the world's leading experts on aviation safety and law, believes the savings won't be much.
But I can't see how that cost saving is significant when you consider the total operating cost of the aircraft.
Aviation automation has advanced in leaps and bounds. Navigators and flight engineers are no longer needed.
14 others were seriously hurt, some with spinal injuries.
But as anyone who uses a computer knows, they can crash, which is what happened on QF32 in 2008 off the West Australian coast.
The plane then suddenly pulled up 300 feet. While the crew tried to right it, it pitched over and down.
So many things can go wrong in our aircraft. In the last few weeks, Qantas has had several serious incidents, including fumes in the cabin and engine failure.
The 380 has 4 million parts, and complexity and safety are natural enemies. And so as the aircraft gets more technical, yes, it might do a lot of things to help you, but when that automation fails, you're left on your own. You can't stop, you can't call for help. That's when you need a well-trained crew of at least 2 pilots.
While it was a drama, the accurate scenes in the movie Sully, where a plane was forced to land on New York's Hudson River, showed us how important two pilots were, with one flying the plane and the other doing the checklists.
Engine Master 1 and 2 confirm off. Off. Wait 30 seconds.
Too low. Terrain.
All right, let's put the flaps out. Put the flaps out. Flaps out.
Cactus 1549 radar contact lost.
Of course, in the future, a single pilot could talk to experts on the ground. But what happens?
If the communication gets knocked out, then you are truly on your own with no help.
Our national carrier says, while we're staying across developments in technology like this, we have no plans to implement this capability in our A350s. Without a second set of eyes in our skies, passengers in the future may well be sleeping with one eye open.
Ron, would you fly in a single pilot aircraft?
Not at this stage. I'll hop onto a train that is not operated by a pilot at all. The worst that can happen would be that you're going to be stopped between Redfern and Central. If you're stopped between Sydney and Singapore at 35,000 feet, it's not quite the same alternative.
I'd be freaked out. What about you? I like to. We'll see how that goes. I don't think it's going to end well.
Yeah, it's a big fat no from me too.